let's look at what Fox News is covering. I love tuning into Fox News randomly in the middle of the day because you know that the only time they actually cover this shit is during the day, and even then they rarely cover it. They cover it for a little bit during the day.
2 hours.
But overall,
if it's too late or where.
But overall, the you know, at nighttime they're like,
Judge Janine.
the 5 is on. Ooh, the 5 is on.
Yeah, 10. How does it feel? How are you feeling about it?
Oh, my favorite.
About it. You know why? They're making the Republicans look ridiculous. First of all, I like Kevin McCarthy. Okay, why wasn't this done ahead of time? Why are we doing this in front of the public? We look like a bunch of fools. Okay, and Lauren Boebert, you know, with all due respect, I mean, the woman barely won her race. You're holding out until Kevin falls. What is the alternative?
Where the fuck?
What do you want? What is the option? What can people agree on? You want the Republicans to vote to get the Democrats to get a Speaker of the House? Can you imagine Nancy Pelosi saying, let me get some Republicans so that I can be the Speaker. I can put them on committees. This is an embarrassment. And I got to tell you that it's gone on long enough. It shouldn't have happened this way. He's done everything. You're lowering the threshold to boot him to one person to get a vote, to boot him out of Congress. This guy raised $250,000. Half these people voting against him. How much?
Billion. He raised $250 million.
Okay, but for the House.
Right.
Okay, all right. And these people that he gave money to are voting against him. What do they want? They have no other alternative. They're egomaniacs who've got no answers, and they ought to just be quiet and just go along with the majority at this point. If you don't want to vote for a bill, don't vote for it. And that's the end of it.
I shouldn't even go to you, Harold. You know, this is our thing. We're going to keep this in the family, so I'm going to go to Dana. Dana, your thoughts now on this 10th no vote.
Well, it's the longest staring contest in history. My sister and I used to have these in the back seat of the car, and I was pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would not blink. And it feels like this is what everybody is taking in. And I just don't see how this ends for a while. I mean, maybe they go away for the weekend, and they didn't take my advice. Nobody got a drink together last night.
Good idea.
I do think it's interesting that Kevin hasn't lost anymore either. Right, so you keep getting the same result over and over again. So the holdouts aren't getting what they want, and the 200 or so that are with Kevin McCarthy right now are staying. And it could be that apparently there is some progress perhaps with the ones who are not the never Kevins, but the ones who want some significant changes, including one of the things that I'm asking for is to have some people jump the line of seniority in order to get some committee posts. Yeah. I mean, is that fair? I don't know. I would imagine that if it happened to them, if they got skipped over, they'd be furious about it, right? And they would say, oh, this is the establishment doing this to us. So the feelings are going to get even more raw, I think, as this continues on. However, it just felt like there was a little glimmer of hope that maybe this could get done by next week, I guess.
Yes.
I'm not going to say it's not going to. I don't think it's going to end tomorrow.
You're pretty good with predictions.
I don't know. I had a terrible year last year. I'm 1 for 1 this year so far.
All right, Greg. We know you have a lot of dogs in this fight. How does this end?
Well, I'm running out of things to say, and so I'm looking through my notes, like what have I not said, and I found a few things. So if you bear with me, I'm officially tired of people saying this is the first time in 100 years. This is the first time in a century. You know what else hasn't happened in 100 years? 1923.
Do we have anything else in those notes?
No, that's it. That's it. No.
Wow.
I keep
Brilliant.
looking it up on the TV, and it's like the opposite of a telethon. You know, the sick patient gets less help. People are calling and saying, we want our donation back. I feel bad for McCarthy. This cannot be good for your ego. Every hour you lose basically what is literally a popularity contest.
This is very important because this is the main propaganda arm, the main communication arm of the Republican Party, openly shitting on the Republican Party. Okay? That's very, very big for the Republican Party and the way it's being seen by the population.
You know, you guys, you made your point. You're basically putting everybody on notice. That's good. Healthy quarrel. We like that. It's democracy in action. It's transparent, but at the same time, it's tedious. We're getting bored with it. However, I like that it takes up all the time of politicians. Maybe this is how the only thing politicians should be doing is voting on whether they're still a politician, right? That way they'd be checking their constituents more than checking Twitter, right? If they're like they might Democrats might actually care about the border and about crime if they could be voted out every single day, and maybe the Republicans would do something about fentanyl if they could be voted out every day. So I say let's do this forever and ever, and just because I want to see Cavuto cover it every single day.
And it's like so true. All right, Hale, just keep it short.
Independent voters who voted for Republicans voted for them on crime and border, inflation, gas prices. I can't imagine this is what they thought they were voting for. As I think about this, and you look at it, I agree with most, if not everything that's been said. You've got 21 people, 5% of the Congress, has decided they're not going to allow half of the legislative branch to be seated and to get to work on the things that independents and Republicans, and I would even argue some Democrats, voted for Republicans in the House to do: the border, crime, inflation, energy, giving us more certainty. There's some things I agree with them that we can't get to. It seems very personal with some of these people. It's almost like if you're in a football team and the wide receiver looks at your girlfriend the wrong way, so you don't throw him a pass. He's your best player. You're not going to throw him a pass to the team.
I'm running the ball every down.
The team could win. These guys seem like they didn't get invited to the prom or something, so they're still upset about those that didn't invite them to the prom. They're blaming Kevin McCarthy. So what I would do if I were Kevin McCarthy at this point, I think you have to be serious about, and all the Republicans and Democrats have to be serious about isolating those 21 people who don't want to be a part of the Congress. So they should all come together and figure out whom they want elected. Probably will be Kevin. But Kevin, scrap the deals he's worked with those 21 and go work a deal with some Democrats and go work a deal with them. Because if I'm listen to me, he can't win without them. The 201 Republicans, or whatever the number is, they're the ones who should feel most affronted by what he's doing in terms of caving into those 21 Republicans. Because they cut deals with him a long time ago and said, wait a second, why are you cutting a deal with these guys? You can't even count on them to vote for you. He did a deal and not one of them. Not one of them has voted for him. I feel bad for him in that regard, but this should have been done, to your point, Judge, before all of this went to the floor.
What does he have to promise a Democrat in return? Does he have to put him on a committee? I mean, how bad is the back and forth?
I don't know, but one thing I know, I think for certain, if he worked a deal with Democrats and Democrats didn't uphold the deal, I'd criticize the daylights out of the Democrats. The fact that more people are not criticizing these 20 Republicans who said if you do these things, I know, but everybody's not. If you do these things, we'll vote for you. Some people are celebrating them as heroes. They're not heroes. You know what they are? They're the most incompetent, cruelest deal makers I've ever seen.
That was not short.
They're not a deal. They're not.
We asked you to be short, and that was not short.
They're obstructionists.
All right, let's go.
I thought you meant long.
Oh no, they're obstructionists. Oh no. Oh no.